there's a show right now on Netflix that's really popular. It's called Wednesday. I don't know if you've seen it, but I noticed the main character, Wednesday, she spends a lot of time in her silence of not responding. She does not respond to many of the things people say to her. She just observes. And that's what reminds me of this Mars retrograde in Gemini. We have all had the warrior of the zodiac, Mars, living in the area of our life ruled by Gemini for a very long time. And by the time it finally departs, it will have been in Gemini for 7 months. And usually Mars travels through a sign in the zodiac in about 2 months. So you can see this is a very concentrated, definitely a time to focus on the Gemini area of our life. And it's an extended stay to make us rethink our views on how we communicate, how we use our words. The words we use and the words we interact with create the world that we live in. And words are also more than words. Really more than words. And Mars in Gemini is the warrior in the words and communication section of our life. And it's the epitome of the pen is mightier than the sword, if you know what I mean. Mars retrograde appears from our position on Earth that it's going backwards in the sky. That's all a retrograde really means. It looks like it's going backwards. But what's really interesting about it is that Mars is actually the closest that it's going to be to Earth during this period. Studying the landscape, learning the terrain, watching what needs to be happening next. That's what this Mars retrograde is. It's very close to Earth. It's been blazing red, curious, cautious in the sky. And when it stations direct at Gemini 8 degrees 7 seconds, it means that it looks like it's standing still. That's what a station direct means. It just looks like it's stopped in the sky. It's not moving anymore. And Mars is going to be stopping on that point and appearing to make like a U-turn and moving forward from now on. In January 12th, 2023, that's the point where Mars will no longer be going retrograde. And it's going to be moving forward in Gemini and not coming back to Gemini for another 2 years. So it will finally leave the sign of Gemini March of 2023. This has been a time with Mars and Gemini to be considering what we're willing to fight for, what we're willing to argue for, how we use our voice in more than just pointless battles of wit or to defend our version of reality. Because Mars is courage, action, and power, and words are super powerful. Words can hurt. Words can create powerful pain. Words are the vehicle of our mind. They can incite all sorts of things, including beautiful things. We need to be responsible. Responsible communication is rewarded here, and we need to stand up for what we believe in. Be brave in our speech in order to empower ourselves, but without cutting other people apart with our words, or cutting other people down with hateful or demeaning words, or letting other people do that to us and have their words affect us. We can empower ourselves to be that brave warrior, to have a shield against words that can be very damaging to us. So the shadow side of Mars in Gemini is this alienation of cutting words and argumentation, defending beliefs blindly without taking time to see what the other side sees as truth. And we can be on either side of that. We can be on the point where somebody's doing that to us or that we might be doing that to someone else. Some arguments are not even worth touching. They're not worth your time. And some comments that people make, they really aren't even worth your energy to respond to them. It's a time to hold back on our instinct to have word wars, right? During that retrograde time, you might have had some arguments and not been able to hold back your words. That's another thing that could have happened, but we only have so much time. We only have so much energy, and we need to know where to put our energy and time. I'll tell you a story. I live in a small town, and we have a friends Facebook group. And the leader of this local group, this local Facebook group, has been struggling for several months about what to do with this vitriolic, just plain mean, name-calling, cattiness stuff that people get into within microseconds on any post whatsoever. So, for example, our town just got its first fast food restaurant, like ever. And this town is old. It's like from the 1800s, this town. And the restaurant is a McDonald's. So you can imagine there are two camps of people. There are the people that are happy to have a restaurant in town, finally, a fast food restaurant, something that's got a name. And there are others that are appalled, and on every post, if it's positive towards the McDonald's, they post the barf emoji. They're just expressing the worst negative words possible about the chain and about the people who might choose to go to the chain. So inevitably, this leads to responses in both directions, as both feel they need to defend their position on McDonald's as right. McDonald's is awful, McDonald's is great. So this leader is considering closing the group entirely. And just as Mars is stationing direct, this person has come to a decision that they need to set boundaries on the words that people are allowed to say. They are making rules and enforcing codes of conduct to make it a safer, friendlier place where name-calling and vitriolic spewing of opinions and words are not to be tolerated. No longer are people allowed to talk about religion or politics. This person is protecting the wordscape within this community and not allowing this hatred to go forward further. So where in your life can you accept this larger outlook of the fact that other people might have views that you don't agree with or that they don't agree with you? The strength and courage needs to be there to respond, but without alienating people with sharp responses. We need to be clever, right? Gemini is clever. And where in your life can you rise above petty arguments that are just a waste of your time and kindly not respond? Now, the symbolic degree of Mars in Gemini for the Sabian symbols is on Gemini 9, and the image is of a medieval archer stands with the ease of one wholly sure of themselves, bow in hand. And this image is one of a very confident person. So Mars going direct on this degree is an image of confidence, an image of practice. An archer is somebody that has to really know what they're doing in order to hit a target with a bow. This is a person that's willing to defend if necessary, but within the stance of being wholly sure of themselves. They know they don't have to fight for things that don't matter. They know they don't have to fight for things that are beneath them or petty. You don't waste your arrows. And with Mars retrograde in Gemini, we have had the time to gather the information, to know when and how to use our words most wisely. And I'm going to tell you, this is straight from SabianSymbols.com. I'm going to read it to you because I think it really perfectly encapsulates the energy of this Mars retrograde. So this symbol implies the ability of being able to take aim at something and achieve a bullseye straight at the target. You need to be sure of what you want, that your aim is true, and arm yourself to go after what you want. Your situation is one that requires skill, focus, and knowledge of local conditions. There is no need to just rush forward, hoping for the best. So compose yourself for a moment. It's really, really great when we want to lash out in our words or just say what we feel without thinking. Compose yourself for a moment and realize that you have the ammunition and the sure marksmanship before taking aim and committing yourself. Make a strategy. Hit the target. Be armed and ready. Getting to the point. Accuracy and strength. Sending a message, true and clear. Skills and confidence. Warriors. Wow. I mean, sometimes these Sabian symbols just hit it out of the park without much work. I mean, that's a good one. I truly do appreciate if you would illuminate the like button. And I want you to know that I like you just the way you are, whether you like this video or not. I like you. Anyways, I'll talk to you soon, and thank you again for watching.